repairs ahead, what the city is doing to ease traffic congestion as College Drive is a construction zone. Under renovation, what's ahead for the Emergency Wellness Center in the Fairhaven neighborhood. And Saskatchewan high school students prepare for a trip of a lifetime.
This is CTV News with Chantel Saunders.
Good evening. Construction on the University Bridge is into week 2 with detour signs dotting College Drive. It's forced drivers to take alternate routes. And as Hallie Mandrick tells us, the city says it's trying to ease traffic troubles for motorists.
The site of construction on College Drive has become familiar for Saskatoon drivers.
It's annoying, like when I am driving, I cannot stand it, like all the merges and stuff like that, and the slowness on Circle Drive and all that. But yeah, I'm sure others are in the same boat as I am.
Even we've got construction across the street here. We had the construction for the rapid transit last year. It's impacting my travel and commute time a lot.
The 4-month-long construction project is part of a $1.5 million repair to the University Bridge, in addition to the $50 million LINK project, preparing College Drive for the upcoming rapid transit program. According to the City of Saskatoon, there are efforts being made to mitigate the additional traffic, such as adjusting traffic lights.
One of the changes we're making shortly is at Broadway Avenue and 12th Street to allow more time for that southbound left turn. So we do adjust signal timings, but we do it reactively after people have adjusted.
Currently, the University Bridge is closed to all traffic except for emergency vehicles and city buses. The pedestrian walkway across the bridge, however, will remain open throughout the roadwork. While many are feeling the frustration that comes along with construction season, others have come to accept the delays that come along with infrastructure upgrades.
I feel like this is just part of the seasons in Saskatoon, so I think we're pretty used to it. And I see the benefits long-term of doing this kind of work.
The bridge project is planned to be completed in June, and all other traffic restrictions on College Drive are expected to be lifted by the fall. Hallie Mandrick, CTV News, Saskatoon.
Repairs to the overpass at Highway 16 and Circle Drive are expected to be complete by the end of next week. The overpass was damaged last month when a semi hauling heavy equipment that was too high hit the structure. The city says the work will take a few extra days than planned as crews determined an additional concrete pour was needed to fix the structure. Traffic will remain restricted in the area while the work is being finished. The Saskatoon Tribal Council's Emergency Wellness Center is set to undergo a major renovation, which includes adding more washroom facilities. But as CTV's Stacey Hine tells us, some are wondering why the facility is upgrading when the province indicated the shelter would be downsizing.
Saskatoon Tribal Council's Emergency Wellness Center is undergoing renovations, including 13 new washroom stalls and 10 accessible showers.
We only had 2 showers for the last 3 to 4 years, which didn't make sense for 106 people.
The center will also expand laundry services and add a commercial kitchen. Chief Mark Arcan says right now all 3 meals are prepared off-site, and the new setup will give people a chance to work in the kitchen.
When we look at all of these renovations, we think it's a positive outcome based to help out the relatives in a good situation.
Arcan says STC received $1.4 million from the federal government for the project, while the Ministry of Social Services says it's providing $975,000 through a third-party agreement with Ottawa. In September 2024, the ministry said it planned to reduce spaces at the Wellness Centre in the future. But Ward 3 Councillor Robert Pierce says while the renovations are needed, it now appears the province is walking back that plan.
We've been promised a bed reduction when a new permanent shelter was built and when is going to be built starting this summer. And so the size and scope of the tender appears to make it look like that promise isn't going to be kept.
Pierce says a smaller shelter is needed, saying the more people who gather in one area, the more opportunity there is for crime targeting vulnerable people. In a statement, the Ministry of Social Services says, quote, "Now is not the time to reduce emergency shelter beds in the community," adding it's working with community partners to ensure there are enough spaces and will maintain 106 beds at the centre. Arcan agrees, saying any discussion about reducing beds should come later, once more shelters are open.
We're the highest homeless rate in our province, and I think we need to increase beds, right? So lowering them should not be a discussion or an option.
Arcan expects the renovations will be completed by the end of March next year. Stacey Hahn, CTV News, Saskatoon.
A Saskatchewan man who was previously convicted of promoting hatred against Jewish people and impersonating a peace officer in Saskatoon has been charged by RCMP. 35-year-old Travis Patron is charged with 1 count of willful promotion of hatred. The charge follows a report Carlisle RCMP received last April stating hateful material was posted online in a public forum. Investigators then determined a person was promoting hatred against an identifiable group. Patron, who is from Redvers, was found guilty of hate speech in October of 2022 in connection with an anti-Semitic video he posted online. He has also been convicted of assaulting 2 Regina teachers. And in 2024, he was convicted for impersonating a peace officer in downtown Saskatoon. Travis Patron is scheduled to appear in court on this latest charge next month. RCMP in Alberta are asking Saskatchewan residents for help in finding a woman who's been missing for over a week. 82-year-old Diane Cooper was reported missing to RCMP in Consort in southeastern Alberta on April 7th. The day before, she was seen at a gas station in Stettler, Alberta, and also believed to be traveling through Hoosier, which is northwest of Kindersley, just before 11 o'clock that night. RCMP say she is driving a gray Toyota CHR with Alberta license plate LVA 978. She also has her Dalmatian dog with her. Multiple RCMP detachments are patrolling from the ground and air looking for Diane Cooper. Anyone who sees her, her dog, or vehicle is asked to report it immediately to RCMP. Toronto police have identified the human remains found more than 3 decades ago were those of a man originally from Saskatchewan. Police credit the use of DNA technology in identifying the man, only known publicly as Kevin. A family member's DNA helped to solve the mystery nearly 34 years after the man's body was found in the Inner Harbour area of Lake Ontario, just off the shore of downtown Toronto. Kevin's death is not considered suspicious. CTV News has reached out to Saskatchewan RCMP for details on any other potential links to long-term Saskatchewan missing persons investigations. The Prince Albert Police Service says it is dedicating resources to addressing robberies, which have become an issue in the city. In January and February, 24 robberies were reported in Prince Albert. That's a jump from the 10 reported for the same time period last year. The service says it's taken note of the uptick in robberies and is responding with targeted enforcement.
Those statistics and that data really do help us determine where do we need to deploy our resources so that we can tackle it and improve public safety in Prince Albert.
Meanwhile, overall property crime has decreased compared to last year. The deputy chief also said officers will keep a close watch on the city's complex needs facility scheduled to open later this year. Well, Jeff, today missed the mark in terms of the warmth I think we were all hoping for.
Yeah, I know. It's like, oh, hey, it's going to be in the teens. And it was, certainly in double digits. And it just didn't feel that warm because why? Not a lot of sunshine. But what we can tell you is that it's going to get colder. Yes, we are going to be seeing a couple of different systems coming through. This system that's making its way through Saskatchewan, that will bring some areas maybe up to 15 centimeters of snow. That may not be the case for Saskatoon, but other places certainly are going to feel some of this snow that's going to need to be shoveled. And then we have to wait a couple of days, and then suddenly Thursday is going to be here. And we'll talk about Thursday later on.
Complex surgeries on newborns will no longer be performed in Regina. The procedures are being moved here and will be done at the Jim Pattison Children's Hospital in Saskatoon. The Saskatchewan Health Authority says too few operations were being performed in Regina to maintain optimum skills. Wayne Mantika reports.
Specialized surgical teams need to perform a sufficient number of procedures annually to keep up their skills. It has become a challenge in Regina for teams that perform highly complex procedures on newborns.
The volume or the number of cases you do matter, and what we want to do in this province is make sure that's the case. And so there are certain diseases that are very rare, and those rare diseases we do want to centralize.
Over the past 20 months, only 6 or 7 newborn procedures were performed in Regina. It was over 3 times that number at the Jim Pattison Children's Hospital. Such care for all of Saskatchewan will now be consolidated in Saskatoon.
Their care, if it's consolidated at children's hospitals with specialized teams that do that kind of thing over and over again so that they retain the expertise to do that, that is the principal reason.
It doesn't mean that pediatric care is leaving Regina.
General pediatric care, however, in Regina is continuing. It's broadening. We're bringing more subspecialists into Regina on an annual basis. So we're not shrinking the size of pediatric care in Regina.
The consolidation became public after the NDP obtained a leaked SHA memo from concerned healthcare workers.
We've heard that this will cost lives, that some babies will not make it.
The specialized newborn surgical team in Regina is expected to remain in the city, transferring their skills to assisting other pediatric patients. Wayne Mantika, CTV News, Regina.
Urban leaders are hoping for new opportunities to generate cash for their communities. It comes as many feel the burden of tight budgets across the province. Donovan Mace explains.
Regina Mayor Chad Bashinsky is hoping to get cities less reliant on property taxes as their main source of revenue.
Property tax is a very, long-standing but largely ineffective tool when it comes to keeping up with inflation, as an example. And so really just trying to open up the dialogue.
And the Saskatchewan Urban Municipalities Association is joining the efforts, with more than 89% of its membership supporting a resolution to enhance municipal tax tools. The resolution also asking the province to remove PST from civic construction projects. Now, currently, cities may only collect property taxes, charge service fees, and receive municipal revenue sharing from the province, which is tied to PST.
We're expected to spend about $9 million in PST in construction costs. So out of $60 million, there's one sixth of that already going back in PST.
Suma would also like to see Sask Power reinstate a municipal payment in lieu for electrical revenues.
We were to get that for eternity, but we found out eternity ended in 2017. And we no longer get that.
Smaller centers are also feeling the pinch, saying as demand for services increase, collaboration from all levels of government is crucial.
I see intersection every day and collaboration and challenges being present way beyond what was once our cozy little town defined by our town perimeter.
The province regularly reviews available tax tools for municipalities and is open to changes.
We can't take one side over another entirely, but we try to ensure that there's space for our municipal partners to be able to exercise and use tools under the tax tools within the Act.
Now, Suma is insisting on the tax expansions because they say municipal revenue sharing has not kept up with the costs to run cities. Donovan May, CTV News, Regina.
The government of Saskatchewan has decided to perform a comprehensive review of the province's Farm Security Act. It comes as concern over foreign ownership of farmland has been raised in the province. Sierra D'Souza Butts explains.
Farmland is the largest asset producers have, according to the Saskatchewan Association of Rural Municipalities.
We've got to make sure that our farmland is available for our young producers and Saskatchewan residents.
With the goal of attracting and keeping the next generation of farmers in the province, Huber says stronger provincial policies are needed.
We have to have every opportunity open for our young farmers and young producers in this province to continue on, to get into the industry and also expand it once they're in there.
After conducting an initial review of the Saskatchewan Farm Security Act, the province's agriculture minister says the government will begin a comprehensive review of the Act to explore opportunities to improve ownership verification, strengthen penalty and enforcement tools, along with making it easier for the next generation of farmers to purchase land.
There are opportunities for other financial institutions to engage in this on the transition from, an older farmer to somebody younger as well. Right now, they're just not there. Maybe they can be brought into the Act somehow.
The initial review found no evidence of foreign ownership of Saskatchewan farmland under the current legislative framework, a concern that has been reported over 13 times to the Farmland Ownership Advisory Committee. The Saskatchewan NDP says the review is long overdue, stating the third-party review fails to audit past transactions. province.
These are something we've been calling for well over a decade. Government's only acting on them now, and they're unwilling to this point to go back and do a review and an audit of past transactions.
We found no evidence of that. We've done declarations, and if people have a complaint or they feel it is, they're free to phone the Farmland Security Board and they'll investigate that situation.
The review will continue to be led by the Farmland Ownership Advisory Committee, with plans to introduce any changes to the Act by spring 2027. Sierra D'Souza Butts, CTV News, Regina.
Plans are in the works to relocate the Gold Eagle Casino in North Battleford to a new area along Highway 16. Keenan Sorokon has more on the decades-long journey for one Saskatchewan First Nation.
Saskatchewan's newest casino is one step closer to reality. The Gold Eagle Casino in North Battleford will move and see significant upgrades as part of a $100 million casino, convention center, and hotel project.
It's just an unbelievable feeling that the elders gave us a mandate to work and figure out the whole Gold Eagle Casino situation.
Chief Tanya Stone with Mosquito Grizzly Bear's Head Lean Man First Nation says leadership has been working for years to get the casino back under its control and usher in a new era of economic development for her people and the entire area.
We're really optimistic. We want to move this project along. No stops, no delays. The momentum's there.
Working with 20 acres of land on a hill overlooking the North Saskatchewan River, the 200,000 square foot development will create hundreds of construction jobs and 400 long-term jobs once it's ready to open. SIGA expects the project to attract 500,000 visitors each year, with further plans to phase in new development in the future.
My mom would say, sa CPD, it's when you have an idea and you keep going no matter what.
75 elders have helped guide the design and feel of the project. Guests will enter in a large arrival hall, providing access to the convention center, casino, or hotel from there. There will be ample meeting space and many other features, making this building much more than just a casino for decades to come.
We're always looking to raise our design standard and bring that experience to our customers, so we're really excited what the new Gold Eagle will represent that way.
Graham Construction will begin building in the late fall or early next spring. Construction is expected to take up to a year and a half after that. Keenan Sorokon, CTV News, Battleford.
A group of high school football players from Saskatchewan are heading overseas for a once-in-a-lifetime experience. 46 students from the Institute of Saskatchewan Football are traveling to the UK and Sweden this week. As Carla Shinkaruk found out, they'll be competing against European teams playing American-style football.
It's called the Institute of Saskatchewan Football. Now in its second year, it offers a full semester of high school credit through the Distance Learning Centre in partnership with Saskatoon Minor Football.
They love football. They're here to train.
Teacher Brian Giebert, who played for the Hilltops Huskies and in the CFL with the Blue Bombers, developed the curriculum. Athletes from 6 school divisions across the province train daily. For the first time, they're preparing to head to the UK and Sweden to compete against players from across the world.
Lots of high school kids go on Europe trips, so why not a Europe trip where we get to go play football and compete against some other high school kids that are doing the same thing as us.
The girls play flag football, the boys American-style football in preparation for the European trip.
For the American game, so it's going to be 11 people on the field instead of 12. The field's going to be a little different. There's going to be 4 downs instead of 3. And, you know, that transition has been kind of challenging, but it's also super fun, and it's cool, like, learning a different game.
Students get credits in wellness, leadership, and sports performance while training 5 days a week.
The goal is to just equip these kids with as many tools as possible to have success at any level they pursue.
So these athletes are hopeful this program will open doors that weren't available even a few years ago.
I definitely want to go to the next level, play junior football, even youth sports.
I'm really hoping to come out of this and go somewhere and commit somewhere further, whether that's in the States, in Canada, wherever it is.
And off the field, preparing them for jobs on the business side of football also. For now, they're focused on Europe.
It's super exciting, and just being able to go to Europe, nobody just gets to say that, so it's going to be a great opportunity for all of us.
We're doing something really unique. There's nothing really like this in the rest of the country, so we're trendsetters, I guess.
The team departs Thursday. Carla Shinkaruk, CTV News, Saskatoon.
Two Olympic gold medalists and a Grey Cup champion were among the inductees to the Saskatchewan Sports Hall of Fame. They were honored today in Saskatoon. 4 athletes, 2 builders, and 1 team were selected in the 2026 class. They include Cameron Barg in rowing, Chris Getzlaff in football, Otto Huber in golf, and Brianne Thiessen-Eaton. The 2 builders are Dr. Marlis Misfeld in sport medicine and science and Ross Wilson for basketball. The 2011 to 2014 Saskatoon Valkyries football club enters the Hall of Fame in the team category. The 2026 induction dinner and ceremony will be held in Regina in September. Still to come, the Liberal majority and what it means for both the Prime Minister and the opposition, and axing the tax, how much less motorists could pay in the coming weeks. You're watching CTV News Live from downtown Saskatoon. Thanks for staying with us. Hot on the heels of his majority win, thanks to a complete sweep of 3 by-elections, Mark Carney has temporarily suspended the federal gas tax. It affects gas, diesel, and aviation fuels, so when you go to fill up as of Monday, you'll pay 10 cents less per litre. Abigail Beeman breaks down what convinced the Prime Minister to help struggling Canadians.
Fresh off 3 by-election wins, Mark Carney's first act as leader of a now majority government, suspending the federal gas excise tax.
It's real relief for you and your family at the end of the day.
Starting Monday, expect to see pump prices drop by 10 cents until Labor Day, 4 cents for diesel and aviation fuel also included.
This is a big decision in terms of fiscal expense, and so we balance that given the situation.
The Prime Minister pegs the cost at $2.4 billion, hoping things will improve in the Middle East before the end of summer. The war led to a massive gas price spike.
Not good enough. Canadians cannot afford to gas their tanks. We want all gas taxes eliminated for the rest of the year to save Canadian families $1,200.
It's a temporary quick fix.
This analyst says to lower prices long term, you need to lower demand, which means keeping prices high.
But the federal government has decided to go take the easy route and wave a 10-cent drop in front of the electorate. And good luck with that.
While many Canadians across the country tell us every cent counts.
It's disgusting. Poor people that need their cars to go to work every day or bring their kids to nursery. It's not fair.
Even just like when your car is at a red light for too long, you're like, oh my goodness, my gas is running out.
Oh, bravo to Mark Carney.
Next week is going to be 10 cents cheaper.
Right. That's why I got $15 today. Usually I fill it, but I think it's good, but I think it should be for all the time.
CTV News also reached out to the airlines, which all say relief is welcome. Air Canada said it can't predict future prices with a volatile Middle East. WestJet said more measures are needed for meaningful relief, while Porter said the drop will have an impact on overall operating costs and be represented as part of total airfare. Abigail Beeman, CTV News, Ottawa.
Premier Scott Moe is not committing to cutting the provincial portion of the gas tax, but says he applauds the move federally.
We welcome affordability measures. That's something that we've been focused on in a different way, in cutting income taxes, cutting taxes across the board for Saskatchewan families since we formed government, and always, looking as to, how can we do more, but how can we do more in a permanent and sustainable way.
Most of the government is looking to do more on affordability, but also living within its means as one of the most affordable provinces in Canada. Now to the outcome of last night's by-elections. A complete sweep of 3 ridings gave the Prime Minister his majority. It also highlighted sliding support for the Conservative Party under Pierre Poilievre. Rachel Aiello reports.
After scoring an electoral hat trick, Prime Minister Mark Carney hit the ice today, recharged. Not the case for Conservative leader Pierre Poilievre, who, after being dealt double-digit defeats in all 3 by-elections, felt compelled to assert he's not going anywhere.
I will continue to lead that fight in this House across this country and in the next election.
The Conservatives' vote share shrunk by more than 10% in all 3 ridings, even dropping to 3rd place in the downtown Toronto race.
I think for the Conservatives, the message that they should be receiving last night is whatever their strategy was doesn't work.
While Conservatives say these 3 ridings were not Poilievre's to win, they know the downward trend isn't a good sign for the party.
It leaves them in a less, well, let's say a weakened position relative to where they, have been.
If you were Mr. Poilievre, would you quit today?
I don't. That's an unfair question. I can't look into the heart of Mr. Poilievre. I respect him as a parliamentarian, as I do the other leaders of the other parties.
In closely watched Terrebonne, the Conservative decline boosted both Bloc Québécois and Liberal votes.
We lost because they had more votes than we did.
It was a slightly better night for the NDP. While support for Avi Lewis's party slipped in Quebec, their vote share was up in both Ontario ridings, including University Rosedale, where the NDP candidate placed 2nd.
I think that it's a massive opportunity for the NDP under Avi to say, if you want the government to worry about regular folks, we're the party to do that.
A Carney majority does give the opposition parties more time to improve their political fortunes. But if any more Conservative MPs cross the floor to the Liberals, the fate of Poilievre's political future may rest with his caucus, who today said they still support him. Rachel Aiello, CTV News, Ottawa.
Israel and Lebanon have agreed to launch direct negotiations at a mutually agreed upon time and place. The announcement follows a trilateral meeting in Washington today hosted by the U.S.
We discovered today that we're on the same side of the equation, and that's the most positive thing we could have come away with. We are both united in liberating Lebanon from an occupation power dominated by Iran called Hezbollah.
It was the first talk between Israel and Lebanon in decades. Both sides said today's discussions were positive, but it is not clear if they reached any common ground. The Lebanese ambassador called for a ceasefire during the meeting, as well as the return of displaced people. She also wants measures to alleviate the humanitarian crisis in Lebanon caused by the conflict. Israel entered the talks, ruling out discussion of a ceasefire and demanding Beirut disarm Hezbollah. Israel says the Lebanese government made it clear that there will no longer be occupied by the Iran-aligned militia group. Meanwhile, U.S. President Donald Trump says talks to end the Iran war could resume in Pakistan over the next 2 days. That was echoed by Gulf, Pakistani, and Iranian officials who have also said negotiations could restart later this week. Talks in Islamabad on the weekend did not yield an agreement, raising doubts about the fate of a 2-week ceasefire. Iran's nuclear ambitions were a key sticking point. The collapse of those negotiations prompted Washington to impose a blockade on Iranian ports. More than a dozen American warships are involved in the operation, and U.S. Central Command says no Iranian ships made it past the blockade in the first 24 hours it was in place. 6 merchant vessels turned back. Tehran has essentially shut the critical Strait of Hormuz for oil and gas transport since the war began.
Hey Saskatoon, it's Sujit Varg. He's letting you know I'm bringing 26 doctors to the Broadway Theatre on April 23rd. I don't mean 26 actual doctors. I mean my solo show, 26 doctors, for the second show ever in my hometown of Saskatoon. Go to the Broadway Theatre website, broadwaytheatre.ca, to get more information or tickets. So Jeff, what's the weather going to be like?
Well, things are looking promising as we head in towards next week. So and I think the SHA got excited. Like, oh, wow, a recruitment opportunity. 26 doctors in one place at one time. Yes, indeed. It's going to be an interesting show. Of course, your dad was a neurosurgeon here in Saskatoon, and so it'll be great to have you back in Saskatoon performing this show. Thursday, April 23rd is when the show is going on. Showtime at the Broadway Theatre, 7:30. Looks like 10 degrees. It's still a little bit below seasonal. There might be a 60% chance of precipitation, but all in all, a nice day to be in indoors watching some theater. BroadwayTheater.ca to get those tickets for 26 doctors. Now, we'll talk about the temperatures that aren't going to be quite as warm as that. 9 degrees in Saskatoon right now, 6 in Prince Albertan area, and 10 in the Battlefords. And as you can see, a little breezier in Saskatoon and the Battlefords than it is in Prince Albert. Not much of a wind there in the Gateway City. Saskatoon's almanac for today, well, look at that. 11 degrees in Saskatoon, 1 degree above seasonal, but as we said earlier on, it's like it didn't feel so warm. 26 degrees is the record warm temperature on this date. That was set in 1915 and 1918. The record cold temperature minus 20 from 1948, and the sun is going to go down at 8:03.
Coming up, cultivating culture through art. We meet an artist in Saskatchewan offering a new piece of work each week.
The annual SUMA convention is drawing to a close. Wednesday on Your Morning, we are going to see up the final day of the Urban Municipalities Gathering and its value with Weyburn's Mayor.
All right, we've got ourselves cloudy skies, a little bit of sunshine breaking through the cloud deck. And earlier today, a few fat raindrops. Chubby rain for you Bobby Bowfinger fans. But we've got ourselves an interesting couple of days in store. Let's take a look at the satellite and radar shot. So first of all, we have this one system sort of moving through central parts of Saskatchewan, including parts of a little bit of the north there, as Prince Albert is one of the locations that will receive some snowfall. And this system is going to make its way through, and then there'll be a bit of a break. And then Thursday, a second system is moving in, and we are going to be seeing snow for a number of other locations. So a couple of rounds of snow is what I'm talking about. Just to recap those temperatures. 9 degrees in Saskatoon, 6 in Prince Albert, and 10 in the Battlefords. On to our hot spot. Well, that was Moose Jaw, 20 degrees. The cold spot, minus 17 in Stony Rapids. Around the province we go. Currently, it is 5 degrees in Lloydminster, but bam, 18 degrees in Swift Current, 16 in Moose Jaw, 17 in Regina and Estevan, just 6 degrees in Yorkton. Into central parts of the province, temperatures ranging from 2 degrees in Melfort up to 13 in Rosetown. It's Kindersley in at 12 degrees, 7 in Meadow Lake and Hudson Bay, 4 in Wynyard, 3 in Nipawin. Up north, onto the minus side of things for Stony Rapids, Collins Bay, Key Lake, and South End, and Buffalo Narrows, where it's minus 2 degrees, but 8 on the plus side in La Ronge. Sandy Bay Island falls at the freezing mark. And pretty much warm temperatures right across the Southland. Not much of a temperature variation, basically between 14 and 18 degrees. Oh, well, I see 13 in Elbow and Outlook. But into the single digits for Last Mountain and Melville, those locations around 5 degrees. We've got ourselves an interesting picture, as I mentioned. So this low pressure area is sliding through the center of the province. North of that low, we have rain and snow. That is certainly going to impact a number of northern communities. But another storm is brewing up in Alberta, and it's coming our way for Thursday. So right now there is a snowfall warning in effect, up to 20 centimeters of snow expected for areas up around Cumberland House and up towards the Creighton Flin Flon area. So we'll see how much snow they deal with when all is said and done. Cloudy or mainly cloudy skies tomorrow in northern Saskatchewan. Temperatures of minus 7 expected in La Ronge, Stony Rapids, and Key Lake. Minus 4 for Buffalo Narrows. Minus 6 in Meadow Lake. Minus 3 in Spiritwood. Both locations anticipating some snow. Cloudy skies in Kindersley and Rosetown. 7 degrees in Kindersley. 5 in Rosetown. Into the southwest, though, 15 degrees in Maple Creek. 13 in Swift Current with windy conditions. 9 in Leader. 5 in Outlook. And then 12 degrees in Regina. 13 in Moose Jaw and Estevan, 17. All three locations expecting a windy Wednesday. 8 degrees for Yorkton and minus 1 for Melfort. 5 in Watrous, 2 in Humboldt, and a chance of some snow in Hudson Bay. Also still some chance of snow in Melfort. 10 centimeters of snow anticipated for the Battlefords, 1 degree, not really warming up. In fact, cooling down 1 degree for a high of 0 tomorrow. And then a second round of snow on Thursday. 30% doesn't mean it's going to be a little bit of snow. That just means there's a 30% chance the snow is coming. But then look at this. 1 week from today, 19. Prince Albertan area dropping down to minus 4, minus 3 tomorrow. Expecting up to about 15 centimeters of snow when all is said and done. And then warming up to 16 by next Tuesday. And finally, Saskatoon expecting a little bit of rain tonight, or a slight chance of it. 2 degrees tomorrow, cloudy and windy day. And then our 7-day forecast, as you can see, up to 20 centimeters of snow on Thursday, but making its way into the warm 19-degree situation on Tuesday.
And even though
collarbone.
Netflix is giving us a first look at the first season of a rebooted Little House on the Prairie. The show was filmed in Winnipeg and the surrounding area, based on the classic semi-autobiographical books of the same name. It tells the story of the Ingle family, who try to make a life for themselves in the American Midwest in the 19th century. It premieres on Netflix July 9th. Grammy-winning pop rock icon Phil Collins, known for his solo hits like In the Air Tonight, is heading into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame on his very first time on the ballot. He's already been inducted once before as a member of Genesis. This year's class is also bringing a bit of Manchester into the spotlight, with Britpop legends Oasis recently reunited. Other inductees include Sade, Queen Latifah, and Wu-Tang Clan. The induction ceremony is set for November in Los Angeles. Meanwhile, Taylor Swift leads the way with 8 nominations for the 2026 American Music Awards. Morgan Wallen, Sabrina Carpenter, Olivia Dean, and Somber follow with 7 nods each. The 52nd AMAS will be hosted by Queen Latifah, May 25th in Las Vegas. Look at that, Queen Latifah, twice in the same entertainment report.
There you go. All right, I bet you don't have 2 picks that are the same.
I do not. I pride myself on not doing that, but let's take a look and see what we do have. We're going to start off with this one. This comes from Bernie. Darla feeding the birds. This was taken in Candle Lake, snowmobiling and visiting Lower Shipman Shack on April 11th. That was last Friday, I believe. Last Saturday. So, yeah, great shot of feeding the birds. Next one comes to us from Ron. Welcomed warm rays of the sun were on the city of Prince Albert today. Even the neighborhood rabbit couldn't resist basking in the sun. There you go. And still got the white fur there, so still able to hide amongst the snow that's sticking around. And finally, from PJ Kennedy, our old pal, who's also an English prof and a hockey historian. Dear Jeff, I, for one, lament the passing of winter. I'm not sure why the snowman continues to smile as the drifts around him melt more and more each day. Take care, and remember, not everyone favors the heat of spring and all that entails. Cheers. Thank you, PJ, for that. And yes, if you'd like to send us a little missive like that, or a lovely picture, you can certainly do so by sending it to cfqcnews@ctv.ca.
Still to come on CTV News, an offering of artwork. The Saskatchewan creator sharing his culture with each splash of color.
Greetings, everyone. Painting, sculpting, acting, and even film. For over 40 years, David Garneau has explored many forms of art. The Métis artist who now calls Regina home just had an exhibit open up in Calgary, using painting to explore contemporary Indigenous people and colonialism.
Métis artist David Garneau is in his Regina studio, surrounded by works in progress. Over the years, he has gone through different style phases. Right now, he is painting in a realistic and highly detailed format.
The reason why I paint photorealistically these days, I don't always paint that way, is because I want them to be almost sculptural, and I want you to feel it so you can have the emotions as if it was a real object that you could touch.
Garneau was once into creating bigger paintings. During the pandemic, he moved to smaller projects, while at the same time focusing more on idea generating. In doing so, his production has stepped up, posting a new painting every Monday for the past 6 years.
I'm not second guessing. There were times before where, I'm not going to paint that, that's just too silly. And now I paint everything that really seems to work for me, and it keeps me on track.
Garneau has been creating art his entire life. At 18 years old, he had his first solo show in Edmonton. Since then, he has curated more than 24 exhibitions. Reading the Ruins and Dark Chapters, his most recent exhibitions, are currently on display in Calgary.
You look at the work digitally and you think that it's photorealistic, then you arrive and actually see the painting. There really is that aha factor, and the ability to slow down and get drawn in. That's a sign of great art.
Garneau paints at least 20 hours a week. He is a professor at the University of Regina. Next, he wants to incorporate academic ideas into future projects, a direction he says could get more people talking.
I can write that in a paper and 5 academics will read it, or I can make into a painting and then talk about the painting. And so I think it's part of this long continuum of being an educator and a thinker.
Garneau's exhibitions are at U Calgary Founders Gallery at the Military Museums until August 30th.
If you have a story you would like to see in this segment, here's how to reach us. You can contact me by email, and you can also watch past episodes and segments of Indigenous Circle on our CTV Regina and CTV Saskatoon websites.
Indigenous Circle, brought to you in part by Saskatchewan Indigenous Enterprise Foundation, growing the First Nation entrepreneurial spirit.
When we come back, a major move for a WHL hockey team, and later the bandit that was caught on camera.
All right, welcome back. Let's take a look at the rural forecast for tomorrow. And yes, it still includes some snow, particularly in the Meadow Lake and Spiritwood areas. They're getting snow tonight, and then tomorrow another additional 2 to 4 centimeters of snow. Still expecting some flurries in the Lloydminster area with a high of -2, -1, and flurries in Melfort. And what about Hudson Bay? Yeah, on the plus side, but still some precipitation. But as we make our way south of the Yellowhead, things start to warm up a little bit. Still below seasonal in many respects, but some other places are getting into the double-digit temperatures, and that's certainly true of south and south-central Saskatchewan. And you can see 16 degrees in Coronach and Carlisle, 13 in Broadview, but just 7 degrees in Kenora. But as we take a look at Yellowgrass down in the Southland, yes, Yellowgrass tomorrow, partly cloudy skies or mainly cloudy conditions, 15 degrees, but it is going to be big-time windy, wind gusts around 60 kilometers an hour. And Yellowgrass is one of the communities where internet plans of up to 1 gig are available from SaskTel.
The Regina Pats have announced they will move forward without head coach Brad Haroff and associate head coach Ryan Smith. The move comes after the team was eliminated in the first round of the WHL playoffs, losing in 5 games to the Medicine Hat Tigers. For Haroff, it ends his 3 years as head coach of the team and 11 years overall with the club. Turning to local gas prices now, the average price in Saskatoon is $1.71.9 a litre. The lowest price in town, $1.61.9. On Saskatchewan markets, Cameco finished the day at $1.59.87, and Nutrien was down $1.12. Coming up, off to the races, robot style. Then the Beaver bandit that just wouldn't leave.
Select Hair Services brought to you by Sage, the beauty bar.
Stay with us for another great night of television starting tonight at 7 with Will Trent. Well, dozens of robots are set to compete in the second ever humanoid half marathon in Beijing. Android athletes completed a full-scale test over the weekend ahead of the official race that's coming up on Sunday. Last year's debut event had more than 20 robots participating. This time, more than 100 will race alongside human competitors. A human won last year, but I guess we'll have to see if the robots make up any ground.
Okay, you know, we used to think this is cute. This is starting to get scary.
Is it?
Yes.
Okay.
Hey, you're trying to run away from a robot? You see that T2 coming up behind you? Yeah, there you go. Laugh that off.
I guess we'll see.
That one's got a bad ankle, it looked like.
A hamstring.
I pulled a hamstring. It hurts. Ow, ow, ow.
Well, maybe you'll like this story.
Okay.
RCMP in Hannah, Alberta responded to a trespasser recently at a store that was trying to close, but the suspect just would not leave. It turns out the trespasser was a beaver. RCMP estimate it was about 2 feet tall and about 40 pounds. Surveillance video shows it triggered the automatic door and proceeded inside. Once the door closes, it wanders around the store, showing a lot of interest in some firewood, but it can't seem to find its way out. RCMP say after some coaxing and no use of force, they were able to usher it out. But there you go.
I don't know if we've ever seen a video like this before, like with that particular critter.
No. It's all new.
Yeah.
Here.
Well, no, I know. I'm just saying, you know, sometimes we see, you know, moose on the loose. We see ostriches. I don't know if we've seen this.
Yes.
Emus, yes, exactly.
Kangaroos.
Yeah, we've seen them all.
He wants to get out.
I know. It's like, hey, it was just a joke. It was a prank. I was trying to show off to my friends. Nah, I'm stuck in the store. All right.
Exactly what it was thinking.
Moving on. I'm sure it was. Let's move on to the weather. Okay, here we go. Yeah, well, you can show that part first, and then I do the click. And then, 1 degree at 9 a.m., but then cooling off to 0. So it's going to be a cold day and a windy day. So please bundle up.
People don't know what the click is.
I know.
You have to press a button. It's okay. Have a great night. Thanks for watching.